artist, collector, curator, and co-owner of Gallery Guichard.
And I'm Frances Guichard, artist, collector, curator, and co-owner of Gallery Guichard.
Welcome back to Gallery Guichard virtually, and welcome back to Virtual Exhibition Catalog number 26, featuring the work of Calvin Coleman from Maryland and his amazing exhibit, Foundations.
Dive into the work, get to know Calvin's fingerprint, and you will see the amazing work that he has to offer.
So now, without further ado, you have the opportunity to listen to a one-on-one conversation with our friend Calvin Coleman to learn about the inspiration, the mediums, and the different series that are represented today. How you doing, Calvin?
Hi, Calvin.
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a nice piece you have behind you, but I am so excited to have you here virtually at Gallery Guichard for Virtual Exhibition Catalog number 26. And this exhibit is exciting.
It is. We're excited to have you here and so excited to talk with you. I have to say your colors in your piece actually kind of match my outfit.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Foundations. Let's start with the title. How did you come up with the title that captures this amazing body of work that we have before?
Yeah. Well, Andre and Fran, again, thank you for having me. We go back since 2004.
Right.
And
before we opened the gallery.
Right. What was the name of the show? It's a college there that we met at an exhibit before.
Temple.
We met.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, the Leah Core Center.
That's right. And what was the name of that show?
You're good if you remember.
I know. It was a pretty famous show, though, that would happen annually. But I think what made it famous was me and a fellow artist wearing our zoot suits, walking around in our smoking jackets, trying to.
Oh, that's when you guys met on, right?
But that's a whole new. I won't talk about
with
that.
With slippers on.
Oh my goodness! Those are memories.
Oh, those are memories, and
I remember it like it was yesterday.
That is too much. But I tell you, even back then, your work stuck out, the textures, the colors, and you were in a booth in front of me, and I always remember saying, boy, this guy is good. And how our circles came back again at our jazz gallery, where they were representing you and representing me, and then when we opened the gallery. So it's been an amazing ride. And then you could talk about Paris, going to overseas. That was amazing. Toulouse, right? Toulouse, France.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Right. So what a great history. And I think that makes this body of work and even closer and more special, because I feel like I'm traveling through time as I'm looking at the work, because I can see the different series. And I'd like to start off with one of the pieces is a gentleman walking on a bridge. And I was curious if that was a national or international inspiration, because it looked like Toulouse, France to me.
You know what's interesting? It does remind me now of Toulouse, France. And maybe subconsciously that's where it came from, but that wasn't my intent. But that series is called the Traveling Man series. And the reason why I created that series is because I think in order to grow, you have to get out of your environment. And not all can do that. So I wanted to come up with a way that would showcase art, but also showcase the importance of traveling and growing as a human. And I do a lot of women paintings, and I wanted to focus on men. So I believe I sent you a couple or a few of the Traveling Man series paintings.
Yes. Amazing.
Yeah, those are awesome.
And I really appreciate that because we're both wanderlusts at heart, and the enrichment in travel. So few people really do it, which is also lovely how you can travel here and connect with you on the internet, but most people won't travel even to Maryland from Chicago to meet an artist, but now we can connect. But real travel does enrich in your soul.
Yes.
And so, thinking of the title of the show, Foundations, how did you come up with the title again? And then how did you put it all together? How did you really spend time bringing this body of work together with the theme for Foundations?
Well, the good thing is I knew I had time to create because we talked about this months ago. And I came up with Foundations because in all of my work, I feel that there is some part in that painting, there is some peace. You can find peace in any section of a painting of mine. And I believe Foundations or peace is my foundation. I'm a very calm, laid back person. And I want to exude peace in every painting that I do. Foundations connects with peace to me. And if your foundation is built on peace, everything else flows. There's synergy, there's connection. So that is why I came up with Foundation. The title Foundation.
Lovely. I love that. And I love that how that also aligns with how art makes you feel good, because you're transferring that peacefulness from yourself to the painting, and then from your painting to the receiver or the collector.
Yes.
You feel the peace too. Looking at each of your pieces, I do feel peaceful, and I feel like there's some kind of synergy with the people in it and me. I like that.
Yes.
And in it, like every day is almost like either a bright sunny day or a beautiful afternoon somewhere. I mean, I'm just looking now, and it just reminds me of the endless places you can find peace if you take time to look for it. So your work exudes that too, with the vibrant landscapes in the background. So I love it.
Thank you.
Can you talk a bit about the collage in your work? And I know there's part of that series here, but it's not the only thing you do, but I love how you use fabric and collage. If you could talk about that part.
Absolutely. What you're looking at is a style that I did when I first began painting. When I literally started painting, I used a lot of different material within the painting. And both of you are artists, and you will know that on your course, you have a tendency to move away from certain styles or techniques. And in my journey as an artist, I moved away from using different materials in my artwork. I just didn't have it in me to do. But it was probably last year I started reinventing myself with the materials and the fabrics and textiles and the compound to add texture to the painting. And I'm finding that I think I hit a new gear where I'm in love with that style again. So I wanted to flood this show with what you're looking at, the texture for the cloth, for the clothing, the compound paste for the texture. I feel like I'm back, kind of,
I love it.
Yeah, and that's kind of interesting because when we first met, you had all of those elements within your painting. And you also had verses, like verses from the Bible or poems or things like that. How do you feel, how do you feel where you've come from the past to where you are now? What do you feel about your journey?
Yeah, great question. I believe my journey is still elevating, even though I don't add the scriptures and the verses any longer. The title still speaks to spirituality. And not only does it speak to spirituality, it just has that peace within it that you can get from spirituality. So I just try to connect it all. I don't think anything has left me. I think if anything, I am in a space where I'm showing it differently. But I'm still Calvin Coleman.
Nice.
And I'd like to talk a bit about that conversation, because I think for artists, the idea of staying within one body of work or a series is a common theme of people leaving a body of work and normally never coming back. But as a gallerist, we have a lot of conversations with collectors who really love those initial series or fingerprints that either evolve and it's still there but different, or it evolves and it's completely different. So can you speak a bit from an artist's standpoint to other artists and even collectors about that situation? Because I think it happens more frequently than people think, and the ability for you to come back to a series, and what I think, like you, even stronger, and why it's important to come back, because you get to come back stronger.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this for over the last year or so, where I know, and this is not speaking down on any artist whatsoever, but I noticed that a lot of artists, they have a tendency to paint the same thing. And I try to pride myself in not doing so, but still have that, what I would call Coleman look, and Fran used the word earlier before we began, called fauvism. The colors, the bright colors, the mixture of different hues. And that is something I've held on to for years. But I have changed the way my subjects look. In a way, sometimes I paint silhouettes. Sometimes I paint figurative profiles, you have hanging up right now. But it all still connects to me. And I don't know if I answered that question, but I try not to paint the same thing over and over and over and over.
That's good. So it does answer it, because you are allowing yourself to still be different, but give the collector what they know and what spoke to them before. So that's nice.
Yes.
Question about the piece. You have a piece of a young man lying down, like on his back, and it's like he's relaxed and peaceful.
That's
and
sharp.
I can't remember the title, but can you tell us a little bit about that piece?
I think it's called Harvest Moon.
Yes, I believe it is, because there's a moon right now.
I love that piece. And the reason why I love it is because I have become interested in the moon lately. I sit out in my back and I watch the moon move. Or, well, it doesn't move, but I can see it. And I stare at it very often. And there's peace in looking at that moon.
Wow.
So I created that in mind to bring peace with an element from our universe, the moon.
That's cool.
And it's so cool because I felt the relaxation. I just thought you were on the side of a pool with a cocktail. No, that's cool. I love it though. The moon, it gives you the same thing that you think you get from a beachfront or the pool. And I love that.
Yes.
That's how nature is 24/7, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't know what to say other than I'm just so glad that we can drop down virtually and our guests can see this show, hear this conversation, and really get to know you, because I think, you know, we've had the privilege of traveling the world with you and knowing you and watching your fingerprint evolve, and just you've enriched our life. And I want to thank you. And you've enriched a lot of Chicagoans and collectors around the country. You are, and I said it in one of our intros, a unique artist in that a lot of collectors used to think you were from Chicago because you had amassed such a following. And I thought that was such a credit to you and your personality, but more importantly, your work continues 16 years, 17 years and counting to be collected by collectors around the world, around the country, but more importantly, Chicagoans. So thank you for being amazing. And you can see your work virtually. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, drop down at Gallery Guichard, www.galleryguichard.com, and go to virtual exhibit catalog number 26, and you can enjoy Foundations at your leisure and touch the matter tag and get the title medium price. It's really an honor, Calvin, to have you.
Yeah, so great talking with you. Go ahead, Calvin. You got anything else you want to say?
Yes. You know, I wanted to speak on another series that I have, or that you have hanging up, and it's called the Lineage Collection. And that is a group of paintings that speak to sisters. And you'll find where there are typically 2 sisters together, and there's one right behind you, and it's called the Lineage Collection. And I'm very proud of that because I just started that a few months ago.
I love it.
Yeah, and so saying the Lineage Collection, you say that because it's like generation after generation after generation?
Yes. And not typically, all of them are, you know, of sisters, you know, that happen to be standing or close to one another.
That's beautiful.
Awesome.
So all the ladies out there who have sisters, you might want to grab one of these pieces to represent your family.
I love it. Calvin, thank you again for taking the time to create this amazing body of work, and thank you for being our friend and one of our gallery artists.
Yes, it's a pleasure to know you. You're a great artist and a great friend and a great person. And we love your spirituality.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me again.
You're welcome.
Take care, Calvin.
See you next time.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That was a great conversation. I always love talking to Calvin. And truly, it feels like he is from Chicago because we have so many people who love his work and have purchased his work. It was just a great conversation. I loved it.
And it's always been something about his use of color. As an expressive artist, he's also a colorist, an amazing colorist, and those colors draw you in. But it wasn't until some of those stories about, you know, the women in his life and also the influences of men have also been a part of what we see today. So thank you for sharing this part of our journey and the conversation with Calvin, because we do believe educating yourself about the different fingerprints of artists of the African diaspora will make you a better collector. So as they say, see art, love art, buy art, live with original art. We hope you find something special that speaks to your soul.
Drop down into the virtual exhibition catalog and you will find the piece that you like. If you see something that you like, please email us at www galleryguichardsocial@gmail.com. And to get there, go to www.galleryguichard.com.